Welcome to Unbiased Rugby. So we've just watched a thrilling game between the All Blacks and the Springboks. I have to say, fairly disappointed that we lost, but the better team did win on the day. I've got to really admit that. But I thought it was fairly evenly matched the whole way through. I think it was just about 5 minutes of real strange passing by the box that really gave those 2 tries to the All Blacks. But that's what the All Blacks are good at. They really are good at capitalising on other opposition's mistakes. And yeah, it really was a well-deserved victory for the ABs. So I can't really say anything more than that. Congratulations, the better team did win on the day. I'm going to chat a little bit about the game. I've actually got to show this picture though. You're going to love this. This is my wife being kind to me. This was me at the beginning of the game. As you can see, I'm pretty happy with my flag and everything. And this is my wife showing me complete love at the end of the game that we lost. But yeah, so I had that from my mother-in-law as well. So I think they both were picking me during the game. But all in all, I thought it was an absolutely entertaining game. I thought it could have gone any way. I think the All Blacks scored 17 to 3 points in the first half, and the Springboks 10 to 6 points in the second half. So a game of 2 halves, but Springboks started really well. I think their second half was a hell of a lot better than their first half. But yeah, at the end of the day, it was an All Blacks victory in the end. And yeah, it was a well-deserved victory and completely in the end. There are a few issues that I did pick up in the game. I really didn't like the way that the ref was reffing the breakdown. I'm not trying to have sour grapes or anything like that. I still believe that the All Blacks won. But yeah, I just thought, especially that last penalty, I honestly thought Wayne Vermeulen was over that ball, and it just kept staying there. And I sat back and I thought, 2 seconds, and he was still over the ball, and it still hadn't been blown up. So yeah. It was really a strange moment. That I didn't like the way that it was being reffed at scrum time. But yeah, like I said, those are just personal things that I took out from the game. But besides that, it was a thoroughly entertaining game. I remember watching the first half, and before I knew it, it was half time. And second half, that Peter Steph du Toit try, and it just was absolutely amazing. So yeah. Few little things. I saw that the All Blacks were playing quite deep in the first half, so obviously nullifying that rush kind of defence. The times that they did come up, I could see that they didn't have enough space. Overall, I don't think anyone played that badly. I wasn't super happy with the tactical kicking from Andre Pollard. I just thought it was very flat. Especially all the kickoffs. They weren't those huge big bombs that he normally does that are super high. It just seemed a lot flatter and a little bit just not as correct. I thought Faf's kicking was a little bit off as well. Not like Aaron Smith. I thought Aaron Smith's kicking was magnificent. But you could see all the outside backs are fairly green on both sides, except that Chisholm Colby. Come on, that guy is an absolutely special player. And for me, he was the most brilliant player on the field today. By a long shot. On the New Zealand side, I really liked the way that Ardie Savea played. He's always there. He's always over the ball. He's always there. So I really liked the way that he played. I think Richie Mo'unga and the Beauden Barrett thing is starting to. I don't think it's ready yet, but I'm sure by the quarters they would have completely settled into the way that they play. But yeah, I'm going to speak quite more about the Springboks now because obviously it is my team. I thought the forwards played okay. I thought they could have been a little bit more dominant, especially at the scrum time. It just seemed like New Zealand brought in their props a lot earlier than the Springboks, and the Springboks only replaced one prop. And I thought that was really strange. I would have just replaced the whole front row. Our 2 front rows have been so used to playing with each other that it just made more sense to do that one. I thought Arceus now coming too late. Herschel Yankees, I think the pressure did get to him because his passing was quite high. So obviously you're trying to catch the ball up there. It's quite difficult. but I don't really want to single any players out. It was bar those 5 minutes, it was a completely evenly matched game, and I thought, before that last penalty, when we were third, I think it was 7 points behind. I sat back and I thought, you know what? If we'd got that penalty, I think, I'm not saying the game would have changed. I'm not saying we would have won. I just think, it would have been a little bit closer. I have to say that I did say the Boks would win. The Boks lost, so I've got to take it on the chin and say, hey, congratulations to New Zealand for winning the game. They thoroughly deserved it. They seem to take the pressure a lot better than any of the other sides. But in the same breath, I watched the game before it and I was quite entertained. But France, the Italy game, France-Argentina game, I thought that was highly entertaining. But I don't think either one of those teams would have been able to beat either the Boks or the All Blacks. I don't think Australia would have been able to beat either the Boks or the All Blacks. So that's what I took out from the game. I just think it's two teams that were so evenly matched, and it's just the All Blacks, when they get their opportunities, they score their tries, and that's what makes them absolutely devastating. But I've still got a good feeling. I still got a good feeling that we'll probably, hopefully, meet in the finals again. I think because now we're going different routes completely. I think New Zealand have 10 days break until they play the next game, so they can manage their players a little bit better. I've got a feeling it looks like Trevor Nyakane may. I think he's injured the way that he went off the field. That moment when I saw Peter Steph Toy on the floor, I thought, oh, good grief, yeah. If we had lost him, I still don't know if we've lost him, but I'm not 100% sure if Trevor Nyakane goes, who's going to replace him? Is it going to be Thomas Toy? Are we going to bring him across? But because he can cover both sides, I'm a little bit concerned because I think the drop off from Frans Malherbe, Trevor Nyakane, and Vincent Koch, I think the drop off is quite a lot. But if we have to bring in a proper replacement, that's the only player I can think of. Standout players from New Zealand side, I thought their forwards fronted up really well. I thought it was, I could see a lot of the tackles were dominant tackles. They're pushing the Boks back, and the Boks just could not get into a rhythm at that one point. They just couldn't get into a rhythm, and they actually had to kick the ball, shocking kicks, to actually try and get some ascendancy because it just wasn't working for them. But I think going forward, I think all the outside backs are going to be targeted by the other sides. I've got a feeling that Ireland or whoever, they're going to target Bridge, Reece, Siva Reece. I wouldn't target Ches and Colby and Makazole and Pempe. I've got a feeling they're going to be targeted big time going forward because it just felt like you can see they're all very, very young and very, very green. It's a little bit of a concern. Failing that, it might have been better to have Ben Smith in the back to try to settle those back, the other two wingers. But that's a minor little thing. I thought it was a great opening game, well deserved by the All Blacks for winning. But guys, put down your comments what you thought of the game. Like I said, I thought I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was entertaining. It was fast. It was brutal. It was rough. It seemed to tick all the boxes except the victory for the Boks. But I'm sure if you're an All Blacks fan, it ticked all the boxes completely. But put down your comments down below players you liked. My player of the match was Ches and Colby by a long shot. If that try had come through right at the end, that last try, that would have been probably the try of the decade. It really would have been, because it was magnificent. And if De Allende actually could offload, I'd be even more impressed, because if there was that one offload that could have happened, would have put Cheslin into space, and we would have known what would happen. But guys, what a great second day of Rugby World Cup. What a great game. I think we've been entertained all morning. Join me again this evening at 6 when I'll discuss all the games. I might be joined by Modern Bok, and we'll just have a quick 10-minute discussion about the day's games and the next day's games. Listen, guys, I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful day, and you've been enjoying the Rugby World Cup as much as I've been enjoying it. Chat soon. Cheers. Bye.